I would say the highest point of my Democratic aspirations or life was the John Kerry election. My husband had been a veteran against the war, a Vietnam veteran. He was in law school. We had two kids. We didn't have the money to go to rallies or to go to Washington for marches, but we did what we could, and I learned to really like and respect John Kerry. So I met him again at a Democratic JJ dinner in Richmond, and we chatted, and I told him I would be on board for him, and did manage to coerce a couple of my friends who were a little bit skeptical, and got to go to a party at his home. He wasn't there, but his wife was, and she was a hoot, and I loved her, and she was terrific. But everybody in Northern Virginia was very strong for Howard Dean at the time, and it was about a 90% Northern Virginia strength, and the party leaders were all for Howard Dean. And I got in early with John Kerry, and they had been having meetings in the area that had brought in 4 or 5 people for a Kerry meeting, and I had a party on a rainy night at my house, and I had 73 people in the room, and I was thrilled. And our Democratic Party chair had been there, and that was the start. And we managed to pull off Northern Virginia. We won by enormous numbers. Of course, it was after Iowa. But we had a saying in the Kerry campaign, the before Iowa people and the after Iowa people, and it was a different thing. But working closely with the firefighters and stuff like that, I think we really made a difference in Northern Virginia for turning it on for Kerry. I can remember the primary night, he appeared at a high school, so I was there at the high school, and I was too late to get into the rally at the end of it where he was accepting the win. And I got to the door, and the firefighters had shut it down. And I turned around behind me, and Harold Shakeberger was standing there, and he grabbed me by the scruff of my neck and brought me inside and said, "You go in if anybody does." And that was recognition that is a big thing for a housewife. And after he won the primary and we got to go to convention, I coordinated 3 congressional districts for Kerry, got all of my delegates elected, and we went to Boston. I had done the LA convention, which was a lot of fun, but I was so invested in the Kerry campaign that this was just the pinnacle. I mean, I had found a guy I liked that nobody else was supporting. We brought in my friends. We expanded. We did our work. We worked the system, and we won the primary big, and got to the Boston Convention where the firefighters took me out on the fireboat. Never mind the other parties. That was recognition from the unions and from the campaign people that we had made a difference, and that is something. I have 5 children. I have 8 grandchildren. They're wonderful. They're certainly what my life is, but I'm not just a mom and a grandmother. I do have another life, and it was politics. And maybe some people don't think that that's an important thing. I do. How else can I make a difference? I can't sell sweaters in Macy's and make a difference. I can sell politicians. I know how to organize. I'm a fairly good judge of people. Somehow or other, some people stand out to me as somebody I don't want to work for. Some people I do. I've been about 98% right in my mind. There are a lot of other people that would call that into question, but I'm proud of the people I've worked for. I'm proud of the people I haven't worked for. I mean, I'm proud of the choices I've made. But the opportunities, I got to work in the White House for a year with Bill Clinton. I mean, look at me. I'm a housewife from Virginia. To work in the White House is just incredible. I remember the women from Arkansas. My boss was Maria Haley, one of my bosses, and she had been Clinton's financial director in Arkansas, or economic development officer. So her office became the base of all the Arkansas women that were coming up to see what was happening in D.C. And they finally looked at me one day and brought me in a book on how to be a Southern belle. Hey, I'm a Connecticut girl. I was able to counter. I found my preppy handbook, and we compared the two of them and decided that the bottom line is whatever the nuns told us is what works. So Arkansas and Connecticut could meld at the Democratic, and with the same, different backgrounds, same basic instincts. And now I'm in Florida. I don't dislike it anymore. I'm reaching the point where I like it. I have found some like-minded people. I think the Democratic Party has to do a lot of growing in Florida, but so do I. So maybe we can go together and make things happen in Florida. I'm 67 years old and I'm not done.